Hello, my name is Jose. Here I am with this 2017 S550 or W222. Today we're replacing the spark plugs. It's a little involved, but it's simple. It's nothing difficult. Here we go. Here are the tools that we'll be using today. Dielectric grease, the spark plugs, socket to remove the air cleaner. This is number 8. This is a 14 millimeter spark plug remover. This one uses a magnet to get the spark plug out. Some of them have a rubber piece to hold the spark plug and so it doesn't fall in. This is a spark plug gapper. Some extensions, we need a pick tool, we need a screwdriver, our torque wrenches. This is in inch pounds, this is in foot pounds. We need our hose remover. This will hold our coil, our boots, and pull them out. We need a power tool. Well, this is not completely necessary. It'll just make our job easier. And we have e-torques. These are like a star. A lot of the bolts that Mercedes-Benz uses are e-torques. Then we need a compressor to get any debris out of the spark plugs before we take them out so that the debris don't fall inside the engine. And make sure you use covers. Put these covers around your car. Don't scratch your car with your zipper on your pants or the button on your pants or your jackets or whatever you're using. They will scratch your car. Even the tools. When you're using these, you could be worry-free. You won't be scratching your car. So let me show you how to put the hood all the way up so you can work in the engine a little better. Since we're going to be doing the spark plugs, you need more space, so this is completely on your way. You'll be knocking your head on these all the time. So there's a little red button on the struts, okay? One on each side. So you're going to hold the hood, you're going to push it up. Push the button, and it'll go up a little bit, okay? So now the strut extended a little bit. I pushed that button, that's a lock. So I pushed it in, the door went up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going on the other side and do the same thing. So when I do the other one, okay, it also has a lock on that side. Same kind of lock. Hold the hood, pushing it up. Not too much, the same thing on the other side. Don't force that thing. Just kind of push a little bit. Put that button in and push the hood up. That's it. You heard that click? That lock stays in place. And it will hold the hood up. Okay, that's it. Just a little close up on those struts so you can see the buttons. You don't see that one because it's down, but that's what they look like. Okay, here we are ready to take the spark plugs out. I cover the car, like I said. You can use towels, but these covers are really nice. They have a nice fabric on the bottom and some nice vinyl for the top. Make sure you don't scratch your car. We're going to start with removing the covers. Just push them out. It only has clips. Put one side up, the other side up, and then there's two more in the middle. So just pull it up. Now the next one, this one on the side. Take this one out to change the oil filter. It's right here. Take out the other cover by the oil filler. Here's where the cap is for the oil. Now this is a good time also to change your filters. Here's where your filters are. Today we're not going to be doing that. We'll do that in another video. So we're going to loosen up the straps on the filters. Now we have to remove the electrical connections on both filters. There's two in the back on the sensors. There's one here. It's not connected to the filter, but it's attached to it. The filter is just holding it in place, and the wiring comes attached to it. So we're going to be removing that. I'm going to show you how to remove those in the back with a little pick. So in the back of the filters, this is the sensor. This is the electrical connection. So there's this little white tab right here. You move this little white tab out of the way and push it out. We're moving this clip out. Then this is letting us move another little clip that's in here. So we push that clip up. and move the electrical connector out. There we go. As we're here, here's the other one, the filter on the left side. All we have to do with this one is twist it off. Just twist it. It comes out. Let's take these out of here. You can have some perspective where we are. Okay, so then we just pull this up. Pick this up like so. Take the hose connection out. Same thing on the other side. We've taken that out. Wires out. We'll pop it up. Same thing, move these out of the way. We uncover the coils and spark plugs. Now we have access to work on our spark plugs, ignition coils on this side, on the other side. Before we start working on this, we have to discharge. We have electrostatic charge on our body, so we just touch any metal on the car to make sure we're discharged. Then we start working. Always store the key, your key fob, store it away from the car. Put it like 7 feet away, 2 meters away of the car. That way the car will be on sleep mode. Nothing will be working on the car. No electrical is going to come here because the key's not there. So keep that in mind. Now you're ready to remove these connectors. You just have to push these clips back. So you're pushing, after you pull these out, okay, the little clip, you push it and then push it down on something else with your fingers. It's going to be a little hard with your fingers. And I already removed this, so I'm doing it again so you can see. But you push these down, and with a screwdriver or something, push it out. And it comes right out. Now that we took the connectors off our coils, the ones in the back. Now we got to take the bolts out, so we can take each and every one of our coils out. Okay, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and same procedure for all of them. Move it back, and we're going to grab it with our hose clamp here. And we got to push it this way, outwards. So there it is. Came out. Here's our first ignition coil with the boot. And this is where the spark plug is going to be, all the way in there. We can't see that, but it's in there. So all of our coils are out. It's one side. Here are the coils for that side. Here are the coils for the other side. And they're all out. to go right here with the 2 bolts. Hold it. That's where our spark plug is. You have to get it out. Get some perspective. That's where it is. Let's look again. Let's look at the one in the back behind it. There goes the other one. Now we're going to blow any debris that are inside by the spark plugs. We don't want any of those debris going inside the engine when we take the spark plug out. So we just go with this little tool connected to our air compressor and just blow a little bit in there on each one of them. We got a lot of debris out of the last one. Let's do it again. All right. Do the same to the other side. Very important to do this. You don't want anything going inside your engine. As soon as the spark plug is out, the engine is completely open. You can see the pistons from there. If you have to scan your pistons, that's what you do. You go through there with a little camera and scan your pistons. All right, it doesn't hurt to do a little more. So there we are, we're all clean. It's only air, so it don't hurt. Now we're gonna take our spark plugs out, and we're gonna need the socket, spark plug socket. We're gonna need some extensions. We can play with different sizes, with swivels, just to make sure it fits in there, because it's pretty tight. It's a big engine, so you need to play with this. You might have to put one on, one off, just to be able to fit, especially the ones in the back. So I'm going to show you the removal of the spark plug with the one I think is the most difficult one. So I've separated my extensions. I just have the wrench here, the spark plug wrench going in. It's attached to it. I'm going to get my wrench in there to get it loose. That's it, it's loose. It's coming off. I'm just going to do it by hand. I'm not going to get my power tool on it. Let's see if I can get this out. Oh, we're almost out. Let's check. All right, now I gotta take my extension out. All right. And there we go. Looks a little, oh, it has oils, has some oil in it. Not too bad. It's a little burn. Well, it has 50,000 miles on it. Good. That's the process. We'll be doing that 7 more times. Get all 8 spark plugs out. We got to make sure that the old one matches the new one. They are exactly the same, except one says Mercedes, the other one says Bosch. But guess what? Bosch makes the spark plugs for Mercedes. It's the same exact thing. You'll be paying more just to get the sign on, but it's the same exact spark plug. Same company makes it, same manufacturer. You check the gap on your spark plugs with this. This is the tool, spark plug gap tool. And the specs for these is 0.07 millimeter, 0.7 millimeter. So we are right about that, right about there. Okay. So the spark plugs come pre-gap, and they have a little cover for them to make sure they're protected. Yeah. So nothing touches the top. They won't lose the gap. Now we're gonna go in with the spark plug, the new one. You could use a regular socket on this. Well, it fits. It's number 14, but the spark plug is gonna fall. If you put it down, it's gonna fall. This has a magnet. It will keep it up. There's some of them that have a rubber, like I said before, and like I mentioned before. Some people use the socket and they put grease in it to keep it in there, and that's what they do with bolts also. So don't. The grease is not gonna help you. It's not gonna. There's not gonna make the spark plug is not gonna make good contact with the coil, and you might misfire. So don't use anything on it. And even on these, on the threads, you can't use any anti-seize on these. The anti-seize is good for the black spark plugs, not for these. These are made for this. The manufacturer knows that the abuse is gonna take and how long it's gonna be there. So you don't need to put any anti-seize on these. All right. We will put grease on the boot. Dielectric grease. It's not any type of grease either. It's dielectric grease. But that you gotta be careful also that it doesn't touch the metal, but because it doesn't help you make contact. It's the opposite. It's an isolator. Okay, so we're gonna go in with this, and you also have to be careful. You don't want to mess up the gap again, touching stuff, touching the engine. So you got to be careful going in with that. So we're going in, very careful. Take your time. It's in. Let me put our tension on it. Right up. A little bit left right. It's almost there, and it's there. Now that it's in, we're gonna torque it, and the box itself will tell you 23 Newton meters or 17 foot-pounds. Okay, 17 foot-pounds. That's what we're going for. Let's get in there. All right, 17 foot-pounds. It was a little difficult to focus, but while being down there, but here it is. The box will tell you itself, 17 foot-pounds, okay, or 23 Newton meters. Here we go with the rest of the spark plugs. A little reminder here before I continue, never go all the way down with your power tool, okay? Remember, you have to torque it, so don't go all the way down. This is only to make the job a little faster, but don't go all the way down. At the end, I like to still go by hand, just go a little bit with this to make it faster. Here we are with the last one. The front ones are the easiest ones. The ones in the back were a little difficult, but not impossible. So this is the last one. Let's see. A little tight taking it out. Make sure, I can't stress this enough, make sure you torque your spark plugs in. You can't put too much force on them or anything on the block. You have an aluminum block. You don't want to mess these up. Make it a little faster with this or quicker. And it's out. Looks good. Clean. Go with the new one. Check our torque, our gap. Perfect. They come pre-gap, but I always like to check anyway. Always double check your work. Go down with our power tool. Remember, go easy on it. Don't go all the way down. Don't push your power tool all the way either. Just slowly. Make sure you don't go past the torque spec in case you go all the way down. I don't like to go all the way down. Go the rest of the way by hand. It's tight. And we go with our torque wrench. 17 foot-pounds, okay? And that's it. 17 foot-pounds is not much, so don't be scared that you just put the torque wrench in and it was done right away. Yes, it was done right away. That's not much force, but that's all it needs. And now we just got to put everything back. We're done. We replaced our spark plugs. We got to put our boots and coils back, the wires back. Okay. Now is the time to use our dielectric grease. Okay, this is gonna go right on the boot, right here. Don't squeeze this in, because you'll put too much in it, and then it goes into the metal, it goes into the spark plug, and it won't make contact. So what we do is we put a little bit on the Q-tip. You only need a little bit. Don't go crazy with this. You just have to put a little bit on the edge, like so. Only on the sides. Don't go in the middle. Don't go all the way down. And the grease is to prevent the boot from getting stuck into the spark plug. That's all we need this for. Just a little bit of grease. We go to all of our boots. All of them need a little grease, okay? I like to keep my coils in the order I took them out, front to back, from to back on that side. So each side separated and also in the order I took them out. And that's the way they're gonna go back in. With the grease we put in, this is gonna go much easier in. Not like when we pulled them out, we had to use a tool to pull them out because it was a little hard. But with the grease, it slides right in. No problems getting it in. That's right. There we go. I'm going to show you what we're doing when we put in the coil in with the boot. So the spark plug's in there, and this is all we're doing. We're pushing this in all the way in. Okay? This is what's happening in there. Spark plug is in there in the engine, and we're putting the coil in there. And it goes easy because now we have the grease, it just slides right in. It's a newer spark plug, so it slides easy. Look at the last one, how it was. That's why it was a little hard to get the boot out. But this is after 50,000 miles in 5 years. And now we're going to continue with the other side. Now we're going to put our screws back. And remember, these also get torqued. All of the bolts get torqued. So you go angle here. So you can see coil is in place. Put the bolt in. Before you make it tight, put both bolts in on each coil, okay? Make sure it's sitting right. Then we torque it. Now changing spark plugs is the same thing on every car. It's easy. Every car, every engine has been working the same for so many years since it was invented. You take the covers off and the engine looks the same. Very similar, not exactly the same, but very similar on every car. Every car has spark plugs, every car has coils, every car has fuel rails, every car has a computer, every car has air intake. Not many cars have turbos, this has two turbos, but a lot of cars have one turbo, some of them don't. Everything is the same. So, because the Mercedes or any German car or European car might think is more difficult, it's not. It's the same thing. Okay, now we're going to torque it, and this gets torqued to 80 inch-pounds. Okay, remember inch-pounds, and or this is the same as 9 Newton meters for those that use the Newton meters. I like to use inch-pounds. So Here it is. Torque. Go to the next one. That's it. That is not at a lot of force at all. Okay. But if you're going harder than that, you damage the coil, you damage your engine. The bolts are aluminum. Okay. They try to make it safer also like that. If it was a steel bolt, forget it. You could tie that a lot more hard and a lot more stronger than that, and you'll mess everything up. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Put the bolts back. You notice I haven't been using my power tool. That's because I don't like to use that on fragile items like the coils. This is all plastic. We have the aluminum head, aluminum bolts. Taking them off, I use them to make the job quicker. First, I break them off. Okay, and then I take them out with my power tool. By putting them back in, I always do it by hand. I don't like to do this with a power tool. Be very careful with the bolts putting them back in, especially on the back coil. I dropped one of my bolts, and of course, there's aluminum. My magnet is not going to be able to catch it. So it fell on one of the trays down there. Well, that's what I heard. I heard some plastic, so I'm gonna have to go fish it now. But be very careful and just keep going. So I just came back from my fishing trip, and look what I found. My bolt. So watch it. Don't drop them because it's a pain to get them back. And this is my last bolt. That will be it. Okay, now we're going to torque these bolts, and we'll be ready to put our connectors in. That's it. The other one. And we're done. Now it's time to put our connectors back in. Very simple. Just slide them in and put your lock back. All right, push the gray little lock back down once it's in. So slide it in and put the lock back. Same thing in the back. Slide it in. Put the lock back. You just have to play around with the wiring. It's a little stiff. Of course, over the years, it gets stiff with the heat, but it's easy to do. Make sure they're all tight. Now putting those covers back. These covers have 2 clips on the bottom. Okay. Well, this one has. The other one doesn't have. But we got to make sure that clicks on the. There's a little pipe that goes down from the where you put the bolt on the coil. So that little pipe that goes down into the engine, you're going to click that in there on both sides. Try to take a video of the things you do. You know, it's easier to find out later what you did, how you took it out, where you're going to put it back. So it's a good habit. Very helpful. Okay, that's in. That's it. Not yet. There we go. Just folds back in place. Okay. It's ready for the air cleaner to be on top. And now with the other side. This one is a little easier to go by. It has these dents here. Okay, and it's very similar to what's here on the engine. Okay. Just put it in there. Push it in. It's in place. There we go. Very easy to do. Now we put our boots back. These boots go on the air cleaner and they go under there. See this here? It goes under this pipe on this side. Let's see how it slides right in. A little bit of light in there. Make sure it's in place, just snap it in there. There we go. Don't pull too hard, but just pull to make sure it's in there. And we're done with this side. See where this sits right on this piece, on this cover. This is rubber, it's a rubber piece. Let's go now on the other side. The same thing. We have the duct coming in. It's in there. We go under this little pipe here. See it there? So we're in there. That's it. Ready to go back in. Make sure our wires are out of the way. Here's the wires. The boots back on. So this sits right. Okay. Looks good. Remember, this one just twists in, go in there and twist. We route our wire. we put our connector back. We gotta make sure we put the lock in. Remember we pulled that little connector, right? We had a lock on it. Push it in. It's in place. All right. There we go. And with the other side, the same thing. I like to put this side first, makes it easier. Okay, put it in. Put it back. The electrical connector. Put it back on. And it's down. It's in place. Let's tie the straps up. The one in the middle. You can look at the ones in the back, the locks in the back, the little clips. Push those in place. Everything should fall in place. There we go. The ones on the sides. Remember, one has the hole for the oil. Back on the clips. There we go. All right. And we're done. We take our covers off. Before we get ready for the moment of truth, I'm going to show you how to put the hood down. Same thing, just backwards. Push the red little button, the lock. Push it. So it goes down. And then the other one's going to lock it. Okay, so then you push it down a little bit. So that one also locks. Now that both are locked, the hood is ready. Goes down. Ready for the moment of truth. Now, the hood looks like it's dirty, but it's humid. It's so humid in here. The windshield, everything in my car is just humid. The ceiling is metal, so it's sweating and it's dripping on my car. But since I couldn't turn the car on because I was doing this job, I had to wait for this until it was all finished. I couldn't even move it. I couldn't do anything about it. So I have some drips on my car. I have humidity all over. The windows are foggy. So now when I go out for a ride, it should be better. But I'm just gonna go out after the rain stops because it's been raining nonstop. Okay, ready for the moment of truth. I'm going in, see if it starts. And see how good it behaves. Sounds good. Looks good. Let's rev it a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much. It's working good. Sounds smooth, drives so good, so smooth. There's no issues with it. It almost feels like it's not even on. It was fine before also, but I think it's just much better now. I don't have any issues. Changing the spark plugs is easy. It's just, it gets a little bit difficult getting to them because of the nature of where the engine is and how big the engine is. Okay, so it's a very tight space to work on this engine. It takes a little bit of time taking everything out, but taking those spark plugs, I mean, you saw that video, is very simple. Spark plugs are easy to change. So just take your time. Take your time. It's going to take you a little while. It's going to be a little long, but it's simple. It's going to be easy. Okay? See you in the next video.